Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'm your host, Sean, and we already have another pocket change market report. This is for the week ending February 14th. Happy Valentine's. I tell you what, I have a love infatuation for some pretty neat coins that we could find in our pocket change or through coin roll hunting. Whichever way you decide to approach this wonderful hobby, I guarantee you that there's going to be a lot out there to find, and believe it or not, some of these coins are worth a good chunk of money. You're never going to believe some of the coins we're going to talk about today. Now, the main aim of this video, of course, is to scour eBay in search of, completed auctions. Coins that kind of really made an impact, number one. Number two, really approachable, findable coins. What does the secondary market look like for just regular run-of-the-mill stuff that you come across through your treasure hunt? Okay, I get that all the time. I get that question. I mean, I don't want to find something that's worth $50,000. What can I find today that I can make $5, $10, $20, $50? We're going to go ahead and run through a really sizable list. You guys are going to love some of the coins that I've been able to find for you. Now, keep in mind, every single coin on the list, and I have 14 of them, was from the last 24 hours. This is just a testament to how active the secondary market is for minor, just varieties and errors. Okay, we're going to take a look at all of them. So before we get started, as always, I got to do the YouTube thing. This is your first time here, welcome. Feel free to like, share, or subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for instant notification, because your endorsement, your like, will go a long way in not only making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but it'll help put me at the top of the algorithms for YouTube. All right, that's important. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the first coin on the list. Maybe. There you go. I got my handy dandy mouse pointer to help us out in the event that we need a little help. But this one right here is a 2000p Jefferson nickel. Okay, as you can see, it looks a little bit bigger than normal right here. And it's evident on both sides. On the reverse, you can actually see the railroaded part of the rim right here. And what this is called a partial collar error. These coins are not particularly rare, but when you do come across them, they are a neat find nonetheless. Now, this example that you see here, of course, it's a nice raw circulated example. It's probably more along the line of somewhere in that AU 58 to mid-state 61. I mean, we have some issues here, and we have some gunk buildup in some of the devices. But with all that being said, this one sold for $10.25 on Valentine's Day. Pretty neat find. Check it, look for your change for coins that look like this. All right, and misaligned dies will look pretty similar to this as well, only the reverse will be well centered. All right, so that's that one right there. The next one that we have here is a coin that I love finding, and these are actually not that difficult to find. Now, courtesy to the seller of this coin, because they had already drawn in the little red arrows, which help out tremendously. So it's going to be less work for me, obviously. But this is the 1974D candy half dollar. This is the doubled die of the series. Okay, as dramatic and as very nice as this doubled die looks like, it's a very easy one to find. All right, and if you're able to find one or two or three or four, as we all know, coin roll hunting, half dollars is a huge thing these days. Okay, people are still trying to find silver. It's all about the silver, but do not sleep on this variety right here. This example sold on eBay for $15.75, and I have to say that's pretty good for a coin that is not only circulated, but is usually a date that most folks would overlook. Okay, there's really not a whole lot of fanfare of any candy half dollar during the 70s, with exception of 70D. All right, but as we all know, that's a coin that wasn't intended for circulation. That was a coin that was can only be had in mid-sets. All right, so that's that one right there. The next one that we have here is a 1996 P Roosevelt dime. Now, this one, again, kudos to the seller of this coin. This actual seller had a few other coins similar to this. I saw a Lincoln cent, I saw another dime, but what this one is, it's a broad struck coin, a broad struck error. As you can see, there's a regular dime here, and then the broad strike coin, of course, absent of any collar, was struck larger. Okay, so it stretched out the metal, you know, a lot further out than what it needs to. This coin will not have the reeded edge on there, and it's probably about the size of a Lincoln penny, believe it or not. You know, it is a little bit bigger than a dime, that's for sure. But this one right here, if you're having a hard time putting a coin like this in a paper roll, then you might have a broad struck coin. All right, this one sold for $12.25 today. All right, pretty neat. So not a lot of you know, but RPMs can be found in Lincoln cents to as far as 1989. Okay, in 1990, the U.S. Mint had gone away from punching the mint marks into the master die. Okay, they were then built into, or actually not the master die, but the working dies. The mint marks were then incorporated as part of the design on the master die. So you're not going to find RPMs on any Lincoln cents beyond 1990. So 1989, if you're able to find an RPM, by the way, this is RPM number 3. The red arrow designates the RPM. You can see that split secondary serif of the D at the top there, okay? And then where I have the yellow arrow, where you see that zinc showing through, that is what we call zinc pull away, all right? And that's just the copper plating kind of splitting right there at the mint mark, and it gives it an appearance of an RPM, which is really not. So these coins are incredibly tough to find. I will say that. I think I found maybe 1 or 2 in the 20 years that I've been searching. And I'm on the West Coast, so I should be able to find a lot of these deminted coins. This one right here sold for $13.90. I bet you guys didn't know that this coin would sell for over $10 when you find it. Sure enough, here's the one right here that sold for over that here on Valentine's Day. Pretty nice. All right, the next one right here, in which I'm really impressed about, this is a 2009 Philadelphia. It's the presidency coin. As you can see, Abraham Lincoln is standing in front of the Capitol building. Or is that the White House? I don't know. But anyways, he's standing in front of the building right there. But some of these bays in the windows of the building is actually clashed right on his face. Take a look at the picture on the right with the arrows. How incredible is that? At first glance, you can't even see it on this image right here on the top left. It's only when you get into closer magnification that you're able to see the clashing on Abraham Lincoln's face. It's pretty cool. Now, this is a raw, what I would consider to be kind of like a mid-tier, mid-state kind of condition. This one right here sold for $15.95 today. Pretty cool. It's also worth mentioning that, yeah, these are being passed up in a huge way, and this is the only one I've been able to find on eBay in quite a while. So make sure you keep an eye out for some of these unusual die clashes. This one's really neat. All right, so here's another coin that I like talking about. This is the 2016 Philadelphia Harper's Ferry America the Beautiful Quarter. Okay, this is one that I've talked about a lot of times because it is worth talking about. This is the double die reverse number 65. Yes, you heard that right. There are over 65 double die reverses for this date and mint market coin. A lot of you didn't know that. As a matter of fact, there's more than that. So there is absolutely no reason for you guys not to flip this coin over, especially if you're on the East Coast, and see if you have some of these doubled window panes in this building. This particular example sold for $8.75. And all of these coins that I have highlighted for about the last month or two are all from the same seller. this one seller is capitalizing on this particular variety. And why can't you guys? Because, you know, if you made $5 to $10 a pop selling these, I think that's a pretty good payday there, and it all adds up. All right, the next one right here, you would very easily overlook this. I know I would. It's a 1982 large date zinc Lincoln cent. It doesn't look like a whole lot. I mean, take a look at the actual images of the coin on the left side. It's got problems. It really does have problems. You got carbon spots. You got all sorts of other little things happening here. But upon closer examination, this is a minor double die. You can actually see the splitting right here, the spread on all of the devices, the letters especially. But get this one sold for $22.99. All right, just goes to prove that coins that look less than desirable are still desired in the marketplace. Don't kind of sell yourself short. A lot of people would see this and they're like, it's not even worth listing. Well, $22.99 says otherwise. So keep an eye out for this coin. All right, so from the same seller as that Roosevelt dime, I have this beautiful 1999p Lincoln cent broad strike error. Okay, but what's really remarkable about this coin is the halo effect, or the double profile, that is exhibited as a result of this broad strike. Okay, and it's incredible. I think this coin sold for the amount of money it did based on the merits of the double profile, in which, you know, it's really not an error in itself, but is a think of it as a byproduct of the broad strike error. Okay, you even see a little bit on the back here. So as this copper plating stretches over the weak zinc core, you're going to get some pretty interesting stuff happening. But this one sold on eBay for $27.25. Pretty neat error. Look out for stuff like this. I know it's hard, but these things pop up when you least expect it. And this one came out of circulation. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't try and look for something like this. All right, so the next one that we have here is the 1958D Lincoln wheat cent. Okay, so if we're going through our penny rolls, you know, as we coin roll hunt and we come across, you know, our 10 or 15 or thereabouts Lincoln wheat cents, take a look for coins that look like this. This one features a pretty nice rim to rim retained die break. Sooner or later, this piece of the die is actually going to fall off, and this will be a full-blown cud. All right, so the pre-cud is what I like to call this. Still desirable because it, especially in the error community, it shows the progression of the breakage of that piece of die before it turns into a full-blown cud. All right, so this example right here sold raw for $16.89 on Valentine's Day. You have just absolutely got to love this coin. This is a pretty neat error. All right, so the next one that we have here, this is one that we've come across a number of times. Now, this one's a little bit deceptive. It's a 1969D Lincoln Memorial cent. I wish the pictures were a little bit better, but this is what we have to work with. This coin right here is in the Cherry Picker's Guide for one reason only, and that's going to be for the abraded die missing initials reverse. Okay, so when we go to this image, this is actually the base of the Lincoln Memorial Monument right here. All right, and then right here you would have the FG initials. Now, the Cherry Picker's Guide variety would be completely obliterated initials. All right, and that's how this one was marketed on eBay. One thing you're going to want to be aware of, because on this particular coin, you could see a little bit of remnants of FG here. If it's even just weak, but you know it's there because you could see a partial amount of it, it's not a full-blown missing initials. Okay, it has to be completely missing. But because of this, I think the seller got away with one. This one sold for $7.19. Okay, it's a nice raw, kind of like a low mint state condition coin. So the next coin that we have here, this is one of my favorites. These pop up when you least expect it. It's a 1958D Lincoln wheat cent. Only this one features a really nice good sized lamination peel, as a matter of fact, by the date, a chunk of that lamination had fallen out. So something like this, as dramatic and simple, this is a very simplistic error, but as dramatic as it looks, these are still very desirable. Okay, again, it's all about placement. This one sold for $15 on Valentine's Day. A pretty cool example of a coin that generally, I wouldn't say it gets passed up, but you know, some are under the impression that, you know, I know I won't get any money for this. Okay, $15. That's a nice, good chunk of money. All right, so this one right here is graded, but this is worth talking about because these silver war nickels, believe it or not, have a number of different varieties that you need to pay attention to. Okay, ever since we got these coins, this kind of like 4-year span from 1942 to 45, it's offered a lot. Okay, this coin that you see here, this 1945p, is the big variety out of this bracket of silver war nickels. This one is the double die reverse. This is the big cherry picker's guide variant of this coin, but you're also going to have a myriad of different repunch mint marks. Ever since they moved the mint mark to the back and on top of Monticello, as big as that mint mark is, I mean, you're going to see a lot of different kind of like funky repunch mint marks with that. All right, and they're all sought after in their own right, and there's quite a few of them. But this one right here sold for $74.20. It's a PCGS AU58. It is indeed the only graded coin on the list, but I wanted to bring it up because even low-grade examples sell for about $20 to $25. All right, so keep an eye out for things that look like this. In addition to the 1939 doubled Monticello coin that can be found in Pocket Change. I actually know someone on the forum chat page that just recently found one that was like a low ball kind of VG fine, and he ended up selling it for about $40. So these coins are real money, guys. Pays for a tank of gas. Keep an eye out for these. All right, so let's see. We got a couple more. This is going to be the only piece of currency, I guess, on the list, but wow, this one looks interesting. Okay, this one is a full back to front wet ink transfer error. All right, so when these notes were produced, and then you had these full sheets just kind of like laying on top of each other, you know, if the sheet doesn't dry properly and that particular sheet goes on top of another sheet, keep in mind the backs go onto the face part of it, then you're going to have a full transfer of the reverse design onto the front of the note. This is a real error. And as you can see, this is a full offset transfer. Okay, it's not a partial. And because of that, this one sold for $204.38. Oh my goodness. Now the reverse looks clean. There's nothing on there. It's all on the front. So with that being said, you know, there are minor variants of the wet ink transfer that exist even in the newer notes today. Keep an eye out for these. I know a lot of us still like using paper money, so that's a good way of doing it too. All right, so that's going to do it for this evening, I guess. Yeah, I wish I had more for you guys. And just like that, we were all done. You know, a lot of great stuff. We ended the report on a big note with that $1 Federal Reserve note wet ink transfer. But again, as you guys go through your coin roll hunting activities this weekend, keep an eye out for all these different errors and varieties. If you need to, you know, jump onto a forum page like cointalk.com or coincommunity.com and get the opinions of some of the experts on there on your find before you go ahead and sell it. So that way you know how to market it. And as you can see, the pictures were all pretty suitable. It helped these folks make a few bucks in the process. Why can't you? All right, so I want to thank everyone for joining and watching in. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for instant notification. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. Have fun this weekend. Safe hunting, and I will see you on the next one. Woohoo!